So, Drip, good morning. It's the morning before the Nintendo Direct for Switch 2. Can you believe it?
It is. I can believe it.
I can also believe it because your hair right now, I'm not going to lie, I'm not judging you, but I can tell you got bedhead right now. You might want to shake it out a little bit, like a dog.
A little bit there. Yeah, it's a little...
There you go. The Switch 2 Direct is tomorrow morning. We're getting this episode, or not even an episode. This is a clip for you guys that we're recording off stream. Wow, it's crazy, right? Switch 2, we have predictions. We have things we want to talk about regarding the Direct tomorrow, what we're going to see, what we won't see potentially, just some discussion. So, Drip, where do you want to bring this in at? What do you want to do?
I feel like we should just start with the hardware part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna see stuff. Obviously, they're gonna show us the Switch 2. But what exactly do you think we're gonna see? What do you not think we're gonna see?
That's a great question.
As far as things we are not gonna see, I don't think they're gonna talk about anything to do with how the games look, except for the fact that they are 4K. Like there is a jump in resolution. I don't think they're going to go into the DLSS or explain anything about that, like whatsoever.
Yeah, like along those lines, I don't think we're going to hear anything about tech specs. Like as far as the system itself.
They will leave that completely out. I mean, you can go back and they've never, ever talked about anything like that. So I feel like anybody looking for, I wonder what kind of DLSS they're running. I wonder what's doing this and that, what chip, they're not going to say. They're not going to say that. We won't know that stuff until they actually get them in our hands and someone opens it up.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure that's probably going to be when we learn about more of that type of stuff.
They could have some special branding for their DLSS, just like Sony has the PSSR. I wouldn't be surprised if Nintendo and NVIDIA kind of teamed up there for some custom DLSS, buzzword
honestly,
branding.
That would surprise me.
Well,
if they even gave it a name.
So like you said, like in the past, it hasn't really been Nintendo's thing. You keep mentioning to me, and I keep going with it, that this is different management at Nintendo. And this is a little bit of a different approach that they've had for a long, long time. I mean, maybe you could say, basically since the SNES to 64, this is the first system to really kind of the emphasis of the system is really just the fact that it's more powerful than the last one, Yeah,
well, I mean, even with the 64, it's like, look at our cool controller. Like, 64-bit, but like controller, look at this thing.
Yeah, but my point is that it's been a long time since they've really done this, that they're going to be doing this, where like the Switch 2 is really just a more powerful Switch, and that's kind of it.
The fact that they're even calling it just the Switch 2 is, the fact that they're staying in their lane. But actually, that kind of brings me to the next thing I want to talk to. What about new hidden features? What about new hidden features? The things we don't know about yet. Besides the mouse. We know the mouse. Yeah. We know we're going to see that. I feel like they're going to do a deep dive on the mouse. We're going to get... We're going to get in.
In fact, I think those tree houses are going to focus on the mouse a lot. The day after, we just got a tweet this morning that there's going to be the Nintendo tree houses on Thursday and Friday this week. So I feel like the mouse is going to be featured at some point heavily in those games. They're going to showcase.
Think they'll be featured.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to be about the mouse. It's going to be about the games, which we'll get into.
For sure.
About the games that use the mouse.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking. It's about. They're going to show you the games. It's going to be double. It's going to be showing off both things. But what was your question? You had a good question. What was it? I forget what it was.
Hidden features. What's something else? Is there another gimmick? Is there something else that we don't know about yet?
The C button, obviously, first and foremost. Is it a feature? Is it a gimmick? Is it both? Is it neither? We really don't know. We've known it's been there since the very beginning of these like leaks, and it's funny, Drip. I was actually yelling at Abby, not yelling at Abby, but like yelling in the ether, and Abby was listening to me yell about this whole situation where like Nintendo leaked the C button just a couple days ago on their app, and they did an oopsie. They forgot to erase the C from the
they?
No. So like the day after they posted a full image where it totally intentionally showed you the C button. But the day before that, they posted like this imagery of like all this like Switch 2 stuff. It was like a collage of images. And if you zoomed in on the images on one of the Switch 2s that was in the image, you could see the C written on there. That was an accident. There's no way intentionally left that in there for people to zoom in because they don't do that kind of stuff. The day after was very intentional. They left the C very visible. So I was just laughing about that, how Nintendo like guys, we knew the C button has been there since basically August of 2024, and you didn't tell us in January. And you waited all this time to just accidentally show us, like, why? And you didn't even, when you showed it to us a couple days ago, when they actually like intentionally showed us the C button. Again, they once again didn't tell us anything about it, which I'm not surprised about. But it's confusing to me why it's taken them this long to even show the imagery of the C button. Why they thought it would be necessary to erase the image of the letter C as if that's a clue.
Because it's clearly something. It's something big, whether it's a gimmick or like a gameplay feature, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's something big. I mean, the rumors are out there now that you can hook up a Switch 1 to it and use it as a controller, and that's how you do it.
You mean how I've
seen that
my prediction around, for a long time?
Yeah, I've seen that going around a lot the past couple of days. But also, and I think this is, and maybe that is one of the things, but it sounds to me like this is going to be, it's just going to be a menu that's going to have a lot of things. Like, think about it. Like every other system, you can pull up a menu while you're in a game and do things. The Switch is like the only one you can't do that. I feel like this is going to be something along those lines where it's like, okay, we have chat, stuff like that, menus for that, whatever else they're going to have that's like, with your friends, things you can do while you're right there instead of having to go all the way, hit the home button, go back, do all this stuff here. It's probably going to be something like that. Maybe there is other features involved in it, which you can hook up a Switch 1, but
the fact
that they're
your
talking
PS5,
about the Switch 1.
Your PS5, when you press the home button and you don't go home, you just pull up like this menu, this like bar menu at the bottom of the screen, which has like 15 different little icons you can press and do different things while in a game. So I think
that's probably what it is.
That's probably exactly what this is. I actually have a name. I know what the C stands for. I'm gonna take a bet right now that it's for Connect.
Maybe.
And that because that's it's a C. Number one, it's the letter C, so that works. Number two, the term Connect can mean multiple things. And I think it's going to be focused on some sort of chat or some sort of communication. Ironically, both of those have to do with C. But I don't think it's either of those two words. I think it's Connect because it's more of a broad term that can mean chat. Or what I say? What the other thing? But it can mean different things, but also broad, so that you can also connect with other things in your system. I don't know, but like there needs to be a name for it, and they needed an icon for the controller to put on there. They could just leave it blank. So it was going to be something. I think the word Connect and the letter C just kind of works.
I mean, that might be what it is. Yeah. I mean, I guess data miners did find something called Campus deep in the in where they were looking at
interesting
just specs of what the Switch 2 was going to be. It's where they found like the clock speeds and all the other stuff, but there's something in there called Campus, which they maybe that. I don't know. It sounds like more of a code name to me. I don't think they're actually going to use that name, but
right.
It would make sense for the C button if that's what it was. But the whole thing about the Switch 1 hooking up to the Switch, like, do you really who wants to do that? I don't want to use a Switch. I don't want to hold a Switch 1 while my Switch 2 is in the dock. You know what I mean? I feel like that's like a step forward and a step backwards at the same time.
I want it to be true. And I think I don't really need to explain to you why, but I'll explain one more time for the people out there. I want that to be true because number one, I've been saying it for damn near 2 years now that was going to be a feature of the Switch 2. Is being able to dual screen gaming, bringing back Wii U features that worked in a system that works. And this would be a perfect opportunity for Nintendo to, not only is your Switch 1 not, dead, but you can use it as a controller because we're going to have dual screen functionality. And this is the way you do it in what's it called? Not desktop. Docked mode. It's the way that you play dual screen in docked mode. You have your Switch tablet in your hand as the controller with the screen functioning as a second screen, and you're looking up at your TV as the other screen. And that's why they'll sell you the other accessory at a later date or, something like that. That accessory we talked about a few weeks ago or a month ago or so in the podcast where we had like the Nintendo's going to sell you like a attachment Nintendo Switch attach. And they're going to sell you an attachment that's a screen on your Switch unit.
I mean,
by the way, none of this is talking. Even if it's true, none of it's happening tomorrow. None of that's being talked about tomorrow. Like,
I think it is.
I don't think so.
If it's real, they're talking about it tomorrow.
I don't think
for
so.
sure.
I don't think so.
I think they will. I don't see this. I see them having a huge, groundbreaking feature like that, and then just leaving it out of the huge, reveal. I feel like if they're gonna do it, they're gonna do it right there today or tomorrow, right there. As we're watching it. I mean, I feel like that much is. I don't know. I think that's crazy. I would love to see them do it, but like, I just don't see the Switch one. Like, that seems really confusing. But also, again, we've seen Nintendo do some things that it's just like, why are you doing that? I mean, God, the way that they have game sharing, these digital game cards or whatever, or virtual game cards, like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. I'm sorry. I know some people are like, oh, I love, like, it's stupid.
It makes sense for very specific people. It makes sense for very specific people.
Very specific. Like,
actually, ironically, one of them is you, as with kids. It does work.
Not really. But why would I want to do that?
Because you're a smart guy, Drip. You're a smart guy, and you have come up with a better system that works for you and your kids. But some people out there are not tech savvy. Some people don't have any interest in gaming. This is a very foolproof way of sharing your games with your kids.
Yeah. I mean, it would have been way easier if they were just like, hey, if you're in a family plan, you could share games.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
14-day. Oh, it comes back in 14 days.
With this feature, it doesn't allow you to actually share games at the same time. Like, you can't play together. You can just share a game. So when little Jimmy, his dad forces him to share with little Timmy.
Yes, that means force it to still be one copy.
That means little Jimmy doesn't get to play it, but then little Timmy does. But little Jimmy's like, "That's my game. I still want to play it, Dad. I don't want to wait 2 weeks." So little Jimmy's dad goes, "Shut the crap up, little Jimmy," and buys a second copy, and Nintendo makes more money. That's exactly what Nintendo's going for here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what they're going for.
Let's move on to games.
Though,
yeah. Let's move on to games.
Hold on, I got a few more on the hardware thing before we run to the games.
Yeah.
I want to ask you this. Obviously, we're going to get a price tomorrow. I'm saying 400. Where you at?
I mean, I got to stick at 400, man. It's.
I feel like if they go any higher, it's like, I have this fear. Like, I was thinking really hard this morning about this, but like, this like weird fear that they're going to do. It's going to be $500. Like, I don't think it's going to be, but like in the back of my head, I'm just like, oh God, what if it is?
I will stick with my opinion. That's been my opinion for weeks or months now, is that if there is a $500 model, which is possible, it's going to be a multiple SKU situation where there still is going to be that $400 SKU Switch 2. That could mean just the Switch tablet without a dock. It could mean the regular, what you expect with a Switch with a dock and everything. But $400 there will be an option for $400. And if there's a more expensive version, it's going to come with multiple SKUs. It'll come with more storage. It'll come with, a dock, and if the other one doesn't, or more accessories than the $400 SKU does, maybe even a controller, like additionally to your Joy-Con, like maybe a Pro controller. But like it'll be if there's a $500 version, it'll be a multiple SKU situation. So I really don't think people should be afraid, Drip, that they're going to be priced out of the system, because even if 400 might price plus some people out, number one. But
I think that's the limit.
But I don't think there's no way Nintendo just throws out $499. They've done this before. They've made that mistake before. Not exactly $500, but the 3DS. Yeah. They how quickly did they fix that? And the 3DS was still
fast, yeah.
The 3DS was still a successful system, even though they after they lowered the price. It's not like they, but they, you know what I mean. So they made this mistake before. There's no way they're going to do it again. They're not going to release just a $500 Switch 2. It's not going to sell. It's just not going to sell as much as they want. And more importantly, they're going to sell less games that way. They just will, because at $400, even if someone can afford $500, they're just going to buy less games, because people don't just have all that.
Bat there, yeah,
they're going to be. Go ahead.
I think also at $500, you're really putting people in a corner there. Like, it's really tough for somebody to say, okay, let me buy this $500 Nintendo system. We're not talking about, then you bring on at that point too the comparison, the PS5 comparison, the Xbox Series X comparison, and that is not what they want to be doing, because this ain't going to be near what those are. You know what I mean? But if you're in the same price range, it's like, okay, am I going to buy this Nintendo, or I just buy a PS5? Like, why not?
Hey, and okay, I think you're actually thinking about it the wrong way. I mean, maybe there will be some people out there who go, I'll just buy a PS5. But more importantly, this is Nintendo's audience. It's the people who are going to go, oh, I'm just going to buy that Series S for my kid. What, $300?
Yeah, it's cheaper.
$200, $200 cheaper.
Too.
You know,
yeah, you can get it. You can get a PS5.
My kids can share it.
God, you can find the older ones for like $300 now.
Yeah,
like older PS5s, like the one I have.
Think about like this situation where like it's $200 cheaper, which is the biggest selling point for most families out there. I could say $200. That means I can buy more games for my kids, or it means I can actually afford it for my kids. But it comes with 2 controllers, right? Is it just one?
One.
Oh, it's just one. They only give one these days. Back in my day, they gave us 2. Remember those days?
Yeah, we haven't had 2 controllers in a system for a long time.
That's how long it's been since I bought like a proper gaming console outside of the Switch. Like
it's always one. It's always one. Well, okay. Yeah, okay. So we're probably sticking with 400 here. I think that's the price. I really think that's the price. I don't think they're going to, because God, talk about shooting yourself in the foot. If they do something, I mean, 450's pushing it. But I think 400 is a spot. So I am very interested in this. I want to hear your take on this. We have not seen the new Pro Controller yet.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the new Pro Controller, I think we're getting 3 total controllers.
Oh, okay.
I think we're getting.
Save it, because I want to talk about that as well, and let's talk about that to wrap it up, because I feel like that's like a. Oh wait, we're doing hardware. Oh, that's right, we're doing hardware right now. I guess we should talk about it. Go ahead. Unveil it. Yeah, sorry, it's early.
I think we're gonna get the Joy-Cons. Obviously, I think we're gonna get a new version of the Pro Controller that's basically the same as what we have, with the added C button. And then I think it is possible, maybe, that we get another one that has mouse functionality that comes apart.
Oh, you're going that direction.
I think so. I think the patents
are
onto something. I think these might be ones they actually used, and I think we may get a Pro Controller that comes apart. And I heard somebody else say this. I don't know if this is real, but man, I would freaking die if this is real. Not only do they come apart for mouse functionality, but this Pro Controller is also Pro Joy-Cons as well, and go onto the side of the Switch.
At first, I was like, "That's not going to happen," but then I quickly realized where you were going with this. That's the Pro Joy-Cons that I thought you were going to say, because that's what
But it's both. It's a Pro Controller and Pro Joy-Con, so you get. That's how they market it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. For me,
you can have the regular controller with the C button, or this option.
Yeah, I mean, I think if there's Pro Joy-Con, no doubt there's going to be a mouse function to it. But the Pro Joy-Con are not, like, because to me, when I think about the Pro Controller and a new Pro Controller, it's not that, the new Pro Controller splits in half and turns into Joy-Con. That's just Pro Joy-Con, and there's gonna be no difference between the mouse function of the Pro Joy-Con to the regular Joy-Con. The mouse function is going to be identical, just maybe some more things, just some more to maybe hold on to. But to me, the more interesting part about your set has nothing to do with that mouse function. It's everything else. Everything else about the controller. I mean, who knows what the feature set could be of the Pro Joy-Con outside of more to hold on.
Yeah,
that's a gimme.
They could. I mean, I don't know exactly what they're going to do with all that, but I think it's very possible this time around. Those patents, that just makes sense. I'd love to see that. I'd love to have that be a pretty big surprise tomorrow. I don't know if we will. But
everybody, except for kids with small hands, everybody has been asking for Pro Joy-Cons.
And because like once they finally got them right, like there was a long time where it was like, okay, these could be cool, but they're not. They got it right finally, and they work. It's like it's hard to go back, and we're about to go back, which is fine actually, because Skull & Co.'s got the new Neo grip.
Oh yeah, I've always been a guy.
I got pumped about that.
I've always been a grip over third-party Joy-Con guy, Until the moped pads are incredible.
Yeah, me too.
Unfortunately, I didn't get my moped pads till much after I lost interest in the Switch, so I really haven't played with them. But I know Abby's been playing on the She loves them, and when I pick up the Switch, I'm like, this is the way to play Switch. But
yeah, it's great.
But I've always, my entire Switch lifetime, I've been a Joy-Con and a Satisfy or a Skull & Co. guy.
Yeah.
And and that's what the Joy-Con that nobody liked. With these Joy-Con, I think they are bigger. Factually, they are bigger. We know that. The sticks are better in some way. We know that, just we don't know how yet. It could be just the fact that the stick caps are bigger for thumbs, which is if the Joy sticks, the only thing difference, not Hall effect, all this, if the only difference was that the caps themselves were bigger and had more travel, I'd be fine with it, because that's all I really want. Because I've been using Joy-Con as a controller unit the entire time of the Switch life when I was in handheld with my grips, and I like that. But my biggest complaint was that they don't have enough travel and the tiny little thumbstick. So
it looks like the bigger one. It looks like the new ones are bigger.
They are. They are.
We should be getting at least that.
They've confirmed that in the first second we saw the Switch, because they blooped it all up.
Okay.
And made it was bigger.
Other than the controllers, one last thing here before we talk about the release date, the UI.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we're gonna get a nice couple minutes on the new UI.
Yeah.
Hopefully the eShop. I really hope they tell us the eShop is better, because holy shit, the eShop is terrible. You know what's crazy is really looking at the eShop and then just going over to go to the Switch eShop. Just look around a little bit and then turn your PlayStation on and go look around. It's like it is crazy.
I think you can load like 100 times faster. Like for example, when
it just works.
By the time it takes you to load 10 games and view them on the Switch eShop, you can load up 100 games. Actually, that's 10 times faster. You can probably look at 1,000 games if you just nonstop scroll. I'll say 10 times faster. That sounds more realistic. So, like, it's like faster. Literally 10 times. If you look at 10 games on the eShop, they're all just glitchily loading in slowly. Whereas on the PlayStation, you can scroll through 100 games in that same amount of time. Easy, no problem. So yeah, it's way too slow. It's browser based. The eShop is currently browser based.
Yeah. It's terrible.
I think that's to save.
It just gets worse and worse and worse as we go.
It's got to be saved on resources, right? It's like it's not its own app. It's just connecting to a browser. It's got to be an app. It's going to be. It's going to be. It has to be. An actual.
Speaking of apps, I am also going to go ahead and say that we finally get proper apps on the Switch this time too. We get our Disney Pluses. We get our
tomorrow. We're talking about that tomorrow.
I think so. Yeah, I think we see them on the UI. Disney Plus.
We've partnered with Disney and Netflix.
Whatever. Netflix,
to bring you the best experience.
Oh my god, dude!
Hulu's already there, right? Hulu's already there, and that Hulu is now been eaten up by Disney.
They've been owned by Disney. So we should have ESPN. We should have Disney Plus. Like, why? Why do we not? That it's insane, and it's not like I want it handheld. But if this thing's 4K, I think I talked about this in my video.
It's got to be 4K. By the way, it's got to be 4K HD. It has to have HDR support. That's like the biggest outlier we don't know for a fact yet. Is the Switch 2 HDR compatible?
We'll see on that.
It's got to, but I mean, because that's a big deal for me. That's a big deal for me because I love all, and also not just HDR, all like the other features, like Dolby Vision is a feature I love to have. Is that a thing?
It's going to depend.
Is it TV? Yeah, is that TV dependent or is it source dependent?
I mean, I think it's both. I think
it's source to
both.
Maybe it is, but either way, HDR is most important here because that if it's HDR, because that makes if you guys have never experienced 4K HDR in your gaming or media watching pleasure, I'm sorry because the HDR is a bigger deal to me than 4K. Honestly, HDR just looks so good, so it needs to be HDR. So we need HDR support.
I just want it to have actual apps and not be stuck at whatever 1080p or 720.
Right. No. It's got to be 4K. It's got to be HDR.
Yeah. Well, think about this. Think about you've got down here. I've got the PlayStation here. Upstairs on one TV, I have an Amazon Fire Stick. The other one, use the apps on the TV. Like, wouldn't it be so nice if I just had my Switch and there was just docks and all my content and everything was right there on the Switch? Boop, pop it into the dock. Now everything's there. Like, I really, really want that to be able to just go into the living room, Pop the Switch in. Okay, we're watching Disney Plus. I just do it with the Switch.
Have you?
And
Sorry, have you ever been the guy who's used the 2 Joy-Con and like laid back and gamed or something? Where like split Joy-Con.
I rarely use split Joy-Con to game.
When I first got my Switch, it was during COVID and you couldn't buy them. So when I got my hands on a Switch, I basically I didn't have a Pro Controller yet. I just had the Joy-Con. So I quickly learned, only having a Joy-Con as a playing method early on, that you can split the Joy-Con into both hands and just have free arms and just relax and game while still having full controller. And also I realized too, you could just kind of watch YouTube. At the time I was watching YouTube as well on it, just kind of experimenting with my new system. You can watch, it's like having a TV remote, like just like a split Joy-Con is having a TV remote. It's super comfortable in your hand to use. It's just as comfortable as any other remote you've had. Fits all in your hand.
I want that.
That'd be great. That'd be great. Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Give me a media remote. Give me a media remote.
Don't need it. Joy-Con.
Everybody else has one.
Don't need it, though.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Why not? It's another accessory they can sell.
There's no reason why not to.
I think tomorrow we see apps. I think they do it. I think they finally give us the Netflix, the Disney Plus, all the other stuff that everything else has. They didn't want to do it with the first one because they didn't want it to be confused with just another tablet. They wanted to show the focus on gaming. You know what I mean?
The Wii U had Netflix. You realize that? And
the 3DS had Netflix. The Wii had Netflix.
Yeah, it's baffling that it's taken them this long.
They wanted to get away from it because they wanted to show like, oh no, this is a gaming system. This is a gaming system.
That's fair. That's fair.
Not a tablet for you to, give your kids in the restaurant so they'll be quiet. This is a gaming system. They wanted to put that there. Real quick, we'll move on to the games. Release date.
July.
You're going all the way to July?
I keep saying July. I keep saying July when I mean June. I've just
June.
Talked myself into July for whatever reason.
June? Give me. Now we're both kind of on the June thing. Where are you at?
Middle June.
Mid-June?
I'm looking at a calendar now so I can give you an exact date. Why not?
So somewhere between, let's just say, the 10th and the 20th.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That's exactly where I was headed.
Okay. I'm going to say early June, before the 15th. I'm going to say somewhere 13th. In the first 12 days or so.
I was going to say the 13th, which is a Friday.
I'm going 13th too.
Not that it needs to be a Friday. It could be the 12th. I kind of like the 12th better because why not? Midweek.
Oh, wait. Thursday. They release their stuff on Thursdays now anyway.
12th.
It's Thursday.
That's a Thursday. Because Thursday is Friday.
12th.
Thursday for us is Friday for them.
Yeah. So we're going to go 12th. I think we're both in agreement there. June.
I know, right?
June
See?
12th.
I keep doing it too. I don't know what it is. June 12th.
Yeah, June 12th. I like that. I'm looking at it now too. Yeah, June 12th. That's it.
Mm-hmm. And let's talk about the people have been saying May 15th, which is a Thursday, which is the exact same day if you're looking at May than June. I've never been on it, and I've never been more off of it right now.
I mean, thinking about it now, they are doing 2 tree houses. Like, if they're going to give us information on games, they're about to do it. Because that was my biggest worry with the 15th thing. Is like, what are they going to... They're going to have like... I mean, let's say it's April 1st now. We're going to see it tomorrow. So we got a month and a half for them to promote Mario Kart probably and whatever else they're going to put out. I mean, maybe. I think it's too soon, though. I think it's really, really... there's a lot going on that day. And yeah, we talked about this on the podcast where the store's opening. The Legos are being released.
It's only 1 month after the other. Like, people are saying May and I'm saying June. We're only 1 month apart. So either one is very realistic. And maybe both camps are wrong. And maybe it's later.
May.
Or even maybe both camps are wrong and it's earlier for whatever reason. Maybe it's like late April.
Like May 9th.
Or like the first week of May 1st is a Thursday. It could be May 1st. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Yeah, who knows? I mean, I don't know. I want it. Obviously, we both want it as soon as possible. But I think
realistically, though, I think we're both thinking June because they haven't rushed anything of this whole process, as we damn well know. This has been 7 years in the making, basically. So people wanting Switch Pro since the beginning of the Switch, and we're finally getting it.
And they've done
8
their
years
hype.
later. So
they've done their hype thing. It's happening right now.
Yeah,
like from January till now, they've done it. Like, it's time to show it and put it out. And
but they haven't. They have not rushed the process throughout the entire process. It's been a slow burn the entire time. And
showing it.
I just feel like a 1 extra month buffer to slow burn to just give us more time to soak in the games that they're going to be announcing and talking about and showcasing makes sense. Just 1 more month than people think, just to soak in the time to build the hype, to enough time to keep restocking pre-orders as well. That's don't forget about that. I predict that the first pre-orders are going to sell out insanely fast, but I also predict that there's going to be more pre-orders days or maybe even hours later.
The restocks, I was thinking. I did a video on that yesterday, and as I was editing it, I was thinking, because I talked about the restocks. I was like, you got to watch out for the restocks. But I think that was like their whole point of making as many as they've made and being as prepared as they are. Is so they can just be like, oh, you're out? Okay. Well, here's another allotment of them. And here's another one. It's not going to get everybody, but I think it's going to be a little easier to get your hands on one. You're right. With the restocks, the way that these go. So I don't know. What game are we picking up with this thing when we go get it from a store?
Are we saying besides Mario Kart? Because that's obvious.
I feel like Mario Kart's the one we can just kind of say, yes, that is the launch. They
told us.
That's the tentpole launch game. That's the big one.
They didn't have to tell us physically, this is the launch game. They just told us because they showcased the Switch unit.
Yeah.
This is the game they showed us.
That's it.
It's it's the game most yearning for an update too. It is the obvious out of all the games that this system should be launching with. It is the most obvious game that has to be launched first. And they showed us it first. It's the launch game. No doubt in my mind.
It is 100%.
Whether it's a free to play, include on the system as a download code, or a $60 game, regardless, that's the game you're walking home with on day one with the Switch. If you're buying a Switch 2, that's the game you're walking home with.
That's the big one. I think there's going to be another game along the lines of a 1-2 Switch, but it's going to be...
Please no. Please no.
It's not going to be. I think it'll be better. I don't think it's going to be quite the same thing.
Oh God, the sequel failed. The sequel failed. Shouldn't that have told them anything?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to do that. It's not going to be 1-2 Switch. I'm just saying a game that's going to show us the functionality of the Joy-Cons with the new mouse mode. It's going to be a game like that really focuses in on the way you can use the system. You know what I mean?
Yeah, not going to be Metroid like we thought.
Like Switch Sports was like the game with the Wii. And then, they had, Wii Sports, and then it was like Wii Sports Resort or something. They had some, it's not going to be a pack-in game either. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Ever. It's not going to happen. But whatever that game will be is going to be the thing that's going to show us off the mouse functionality. And it's going to be stuff like, it's going to be something like that. It'll probably be a $50 game, I would imagine, whatever it's going to be. And then...
emulate the 1-2 Switch formula.
Yeah, well, I hope it's not that. I hope it's something more fun that I actually want to play.
I don't mean the gameplay.
I'm not
I don't mean the gameplay. I mean the marketing and the price. Like you just said, $50. That was 1-2 Switch. And
it's going to be...
And the function of the 1-2 Switch was to show you the features of the Switch.
Yes, it's going to take the place of that. They always do that, though. They always do that. There's always something that show... they've done it the last two... not with the Switch. Switch was 1-2 Switch, but it was Wii Sports. That's how they did it.
Well, what's the
a whole different story.
What was that pack-in game for the Wii U? It was it wasn't Wii Resort. It was it was
Nintendo Land.
Yes, that one.
So which was better. Those were good games. Yeah, but I don't even. That wasn't even that was. I don't remember exactly how that happened. If you bought the base system, it wasn't packed. It
was with the
you
black.
had to pay more, and then you got the little dock. And I'm not sure if that game came with it later, but yeah, it was eventually sold with it. My original Wii U, because I didn't buy it at launch, mine came with Mario 3D World, which was that was a great pack-in game at the time. Oh, it's basically now them doing the 2D Mario they're doing with it now. But so yeah, I feel like there's going to be one more. I don't know what it's going to be, but there's going to be one more big first-party game that's going to come out day one. I don't know what it's going to be, though.
Yeah, I was convinced it was Metroid, and now I'm convinced that it's not. So now that I'm convinced that it's not, I have no idea. Although I will say this, Drip, it's still possible that it could be Metroid only because...
they didn't show a date.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm with you there. It could be. it could be Metroid Prime 4.
I'm back on it. Let's go.
Awesome.
Switch to Metroid.
Could you imagine Mario Kart, Metroid Prime 4, and then some mouse game? That's a pretty nice launch lineup.
That's a good launch lineup.
Because you got all of it right there. Think about it. You've got your staple with Mario Kart 9.
Mm-hmm.
You've got your game that shows off how to use the functionality of the new Joy-Cons and all the stuff. And then you've got your real pretty game to show how much further this game is than, this system is than the last one, to show off what it can really, really look like.
Yep.
That's a nice line. I don't think we're getting that.
And that's just
I think we're probably going to get
first party launch day. I mean, that's not to mention the third party launch day games that'll be available.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, dude, Doom: The Dark Ages is one that's been rumored a ton because it comes out the 16th of May. So even if it's not, the 15th, like when it comes out, that's going to be probably one of the games. I'll tell you this too, as far as games, I don't want to go third party yet, but I'm going to say this. Microsoft is at this thing for sure. Like at this thing, like they had partners at the last one. I saw them. They brought the dude. I don't remember his name now, but the guy who was like the head of Bethesda at the time, they brought him out for the Switch thing, like saying like, oh yeah, we're bringing all these games to the Switch. We're so excited about it. I think it's Phil Spencer this time from Microsoft, from Xbox. And I think they show a bunch of Xbox games coming to the Switch. I think that's a big thing in the third party. I don't want to go to the third party yet, but I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, that could be direct. That could be the Treehouse.
I would put. I think it's in the direct.
That to me, that seems like. I mean, maybe it's a quick. It can't be a long segment. No offense to Xbox. It's not like they're so insignificant. It's just that this is a focus on Nintendo stuff. They're not going to bring out Xbox to promote Xbox things, even if it's on Nintendo platforms. When focuses on the Switch hardware, not Xbox software.
I bet Phil Spencer has at least 30 seconds of camera time.
That's a good prediction. I like that prediction. I want to see it happen.
I really think. I mean, I've been on this. I mean, I'm telling you, it seems, especially the way that they're talking over there. And what we've already seen, I think that it's not gonna be like, oh, this company. I think Microsoft is gonna be the one there that's like, we're happy to bring all of our games to Nintendo Switch, Nintendo platforms for this and that, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Halo, Master Chief Collection, a sizzle reel of Microsoft games that are coming to the Switch. Maybe not day one, but just this stuff is coming. Really quickly, though, I want to go back to the other game before we jump into the rest of the games here. The other game, since we're both saying not Metroid Prime. I don't want this to be the case because I think, actually, at this point, I don't think it is the case, but it could be. There could be some type of Breath of the Wild re-release with the DLC. Massively upgraded.
The famous Breath of the Wild Deluxe that we've been talking about.
I think that's possible. I think it's very possible that we could see something like that at launch, because it's easy and it's not gonna overshadow Mario Kart 9.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be something like that. But then again, I mean, now we've got Nintendo accidentally leaking more stuff. Talking about the Switch 2 upgraded games that are going to be able to be passed back and forth from the Switch 1 or Switch 2, or how they're going to go. So they've basically
Did they use the word
leaked.
upgrade? Did they use the word upgrade? Or was it just
I'll tell you the word
Switch
they used.
2 version?
Switch 2 version of Switch 1 games or
all
something
of you
like
guys,
that. Hang on.
I think the word was version. And all of you guys running with upgrade, I think you're misrepresenting what actually was written because you want it to be upgrade. I think all that
what else would it be?
All that reads to me is that this is software that is only playable on Switch 2. Not that it's upgraded. It's just if you buy a Switch 2 version of a game on the eShop for the Switch 2, you can't go play it on your Switch 1. That's all that means.
Yeah.
That's all that means. It's not that it's a upgraded high resolution version of the.
Wouldn't that be a Switch 2 exclusive?
Yeah, but it's no different. It's not exciting, is what I'm saying. It's not exciting because it's obvious.
But it is different. It is different.
Right. It's no different, though, than PS5 or PS4 version of games.
One eternity later.
Tell me again.
They are different pieces of software. It's the same game, but it was made for the PS5, and that game does not play on the PS4. You can make a PS4 version, and the PS4 versions work on the PS5. Yes, but the PS5 versions do not work backwards on the PS4. Backwards compatibility is a weird term because it doesn't actually work like that. It's forwards compatibility, really, not backwards. So, like, PS5 things do not play on the PS4. The way Sony has handled that, though, and yes, I used bad examples early on, but the better examples are those indie games I was talking about. Like Shredder's Revenge. I know, okay, that's a good one that I can think off the top of my head. Shredder's Revenge. There is exactly no difference from the PS4 version of that game in terms of visual fidelity, resolution, all of that playing on PS5. There's no difference between the PS4 version of that game on the PS or the PS5 version. There's nothing, but the file sizes are different. I don't know the exact numbers because I haven't looked at it in a while, but they're different because they're different pieces of software. And you can, yes, the PS4 version goes back and forth. The PS5 version does not go back and forth. That one is only playable on the PS5. Going back to Nintendo, that's what this is telling us. It's telling us that Nintendo has Switch 2 versions of software. So if you buy Shredder's Revenge on the Switch 2, maybe they'll give you both versions. Maybe they'll give you the Switch 1 version and the Switch 2 version if you're buying it on the Switch 2 eShop. But that only you can.
Okay, your example's a little better here. I understand what you're saying. I don't think we're having the same conversation. You're talking about.
I'm saying the same things. I just explained it poorly before.
So you're saying if you're in the eShop and you buy a game for Switch 2, I mean, I feel like they are going to give you the other version because
I don't know. I mean, we don't know.
It came out on the. Like, whatever, Shredder's Revenge is a good example. This is a much better example. That makes sense. So, yeah, if you buy here's the thing. The backwards compatibility thing, that is a game that came out on the Switch 1, right?
Yeah.
So, to me, that's just a backwards compatible thing. Whatever eShop it's in, it's still that game. There's no other version of it. So, whether you have to have a different version of it to play is confusing to me. Because backwards compatibility means that Switch version will work on the Switch 2 because of backwards compatibility. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's where I'm wondering why this extra language is coming. Okay, that's why I'm wondering why this extra language of Switch 2 edition is coming into this.
Yeah, it's all interpretation, and I wasn't disagreeing with your core point. I was just classic Jeep faction. I was poorly explaining what I was trying to portray.
You make more sense now. I get what you're saying.
I think I might just cut out most of the argument we had and substitute it right there when I don't know what I'll do, but hopefully.
Yes. What I'm saying is the fact that they are talking this language that they're using as Switch 2 edition tells me that there are going to be better versions of games. That's where I was trying to get with this conversation anyway. My question to you is, if this is true, if there are upgraded versions of Switch 1 games, are these things we have to pay for? Or are they just going to happen? Or are they sold as new games? Or are they sold as upgrades?
Man, I don't know. I do not know. It depend. I think it really does depend on the game and the publisher and all that.
Let's go first party.
I use Sony as an example because I have one and it makes the most sense in my brain. Xbox is doing all sorts of weird stuff with Game Pass and whatnot. Sony makes the most sense in my brain. So like the Sony example is, if you can upgrade your games. Like if you have God of War, the first edition, right? The first God of War on PS4, you got that disc or even digital software. You just pay a $10 upgrade fee. And there you go. You got the PS5 upgraded remastered version of that, or Horizon is another example. I actually have that. I have the Horizon PS4 disc. I got it at GameStop for like $10. Then I paid another $10
then you pay the other 10
for an upgrade, and I got Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered, which is a $50.
Have they done that with God of War yet?
Yeah. Well,
did they? Okay.
Well,
I don't think God of War one they did yet.
I don't take back my yes. I don't know. What I do know is that through the PS
Horizon is that example. Yeah.
But God of War on PS5, like the subscription service. They give it to me for including my subscription service. I have both versions. I have the remastered PS5 version of it, and I have the regular non-remastered PS4 version because they give you both. They give you both versions.
See, I want to look into that because they made such a big deal over the Horizon thing. I'm wondering if that. I know there is a PS5 version of God of War, but I'm wondering if it is. Like, what are the upgrades on that? They didn't make a big deal.
I didn't see a difference. My gameplay, I've just tried.
Well, it's not actually called remastered,
right? It's like just
okay.
God of War.
Either way,
better. PS5 version,
the $10 upgrade.
Yeah. So I didn't answer your question though. I was just giving people examples if they weren't familiar with that Sony system. Nintendo could take that system. Where you just take your Switch cartridge, your Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, you pop it in your Switch 2, you can play it normally, or you can pay a $10 upgrade fee and get the better version of it on Switch 2. If assuming there is one, which good lord there better be.
I bet those games don't get touched.
I don't.
Pokemon.
Yeah, I
bet they don't get touched.
Game Freak is too busy counting.
They're too far.
They're too busy
just
counting the dollars.
They're
too busy counting the dollars. If I was a betting man, which I'm not, I kind of wish I was though. Sometimes I would win. But if I was a betting man, I would bet that Nintendo is not going to sell you upgrades. They're going to sell you new games. That's my bet.
Full $70,
full $60 or $70 games, or any price range. Well, yeah,
maybe at that point, Nintendo maybe if they are just remasters, they'll do like $60 or $50. I don't know. I hope that's not the case. I was thinking that, like, if this is the way they're doing it, in my head, I see them showing this tomorrow, like, and using Metroid Prime 4 as that example. Like, here's the Switch 1 version, but this is what it's going to look like on Switch 2. You can see, like, big upgrade here, whatever. In that sense, they're going to be like, you can buy a Switch 2 version, or you can buy this, if you're playing it on Switch 1, you can just buy the Switch 1 version. Showing what it is with that game, I feel like that's the perfect game to, like, show it off, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then also saying, if you're a Nintendo Switch Online member, these upgrades are free. If not, you could pick a game and pay the $10 or whatever. Maybe with Nintendo they'll say, "Oh, it's $20."
That would be the best. That would be the best alternative.
Yeah.
Is instead of just buying a game outright again for upgraded version of Switch 2,
that you just pay the.
That would be Nintendo being kind to us. And how many will they? I don't think they will, but that'd be great.
We'll see. That would, that's what I hope for. Well, I hope whatever, and I don't think there's going to be. I don't think it's just going to be all Nintendo games across the board. I'm guessing it's probably going to be, oh yeah, Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Animal Crossing, this, that, whatever. Like a nice chunk of first-party games at launch, and then more to come as we go. But then they'll, you know what I mean? And then it's like, at that point, it's, well, yeah, I mean, I guess they could just do that too. They could just start throwing them into Nintendo Switch Online, making little announcements like they do with the Super Nintendo games or this or that. Like, oh no, okay, we got an upgrade for whatever. I don't know. Kirby, Forgotten Land. I feel like that'll probably be one of the big ones at launch. But if they did it that way,
the game looks really good. That game just needs 60 FPS and clean the edges.
But I mean, it would. Well, they just give a 4 if it runs 4K or 4K, whatever.
Just
it would just be that version.
I'll take 1080p, please. Most of these games don't run 1080p.
Whatever, 1080. Yeah, it'll be 1440 probably is what we're getting. We're probably not getting 4K. It's probably going to be 4K. But
do you want to talk about
2K?
Kind of along the lines of what we're talking about, but we brought it up a couple weeks ago. The fact that maybe the Switch 2 just has baked in. Well, we know it has AI upscaling, but baked in feature where every Switch 1 game you put in, digital, physical, gets the benefit of Switch 2. Like, forgo the upgrade. Like, Nintendo's not going to do either one. They're not going to give you upgrades at all. It's just when you put in your system, play your game on Switch 2, it just has the benefit of AI upscaling. So it's gonna up the resolution in terms of what you see. It's actually gonna lower.
No matter what.
Yeah. So what about that as an option?
I think they could do that at least to just keep they could even keep it close to where it's at and just smooth out these frame rate problems they've been having lately. Because I mean, think about like the amount of games that have come out at the end of the Switches. Like Mario and Luigi had frame rate problems. Echoes of Wisdom had frame rate problems. Like lots of the games that they've put out here at the end have had frame rate issues. Like maybe things like that can just and somebody said that they found a 60 FPS version somewhere inside of Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Yeah, it's in the code. It's probably capable of running 60 FPS.
Maybe that is it. I think that's Nintendo leaving money on the table. I don't think they'll do that.
I agree.
I think being able to either
Nintendo to be nicer.
Us,
and on the other night on the show, we did talk about the possibilities of how that could still make Nintendo money. They can still make money even if they're not charging us upgrade fees. It's going to sell more games. Period. It's going to make happy. It's going to sell more games, but it's going to sell more consoles. Because I have my huge Switch 1 library. I'm not interested in better versions of the games, at least not paying for them. I may be interested in playing them, but I'm not interested in paying for them. I'm more than content playing my Switch 1 for as long as Nintendo supports it, and maybe eventually down the road I'll get a Switch 2. But Nintendo wants to sell systems day one and year one, and they want to capture that audience that doesn't want to buy them day one. So they tell them, hey, upgrade fees, forget about that. It's actually free $99. You buy your system, you get all the upgrades you want. All your original Switch games, at least the ones on the compatibility list, which would probably be most of them, will be compatible with Switch 2 and upgraded. So, I mean, it'll sell systems.
Well,
it'll sell systems.
Yeah, and there's another. Well, it'll sell systems in that way too. The people who are thinking maybe they don't need to upgrade, but that also, I think I said this when we talked about that. It gets other people in the door who are like, oh, I didn't have a Switch. But, that library does look cool. But at this point, like, it's old looking. Like, I don't want that. But now it's like, oh, well, no, it's not. You can buy a Switch 2 right now, and all that works, and it looks better. So you have that library upgraded.
Like the guy who's been like, man, I really wanted to try Bowser's Fury on Switch. I was a big Wii fan, didn't buy the Wii U. But I really want to try Bowser's Fury, but I wasn't going to go ahead and spend $60 for that, for a game I've already played, 3D World, and a Switch, a whole new system. I wasn't going to do that. But now I can do that. I can buy 3D World with Bowser's Fury. I can try that experience of Bowser's Fury and get a better experience in the Switch and have all the features.
It'll run in 4K on the TV, and
it could sell. They got the fringe people who didn't buy a Switch. Yeah. It could sell them on a Switch too.
I still see that kind of. I mean, I like the idea of that. That would be great, but I still see that in their eyes of like, that's a gamble. You know what I mean? A sure thing is we include this in the NSO package, whatever tier, highest tier of NSO. And that brings people, because then it's, all I have to do is sign up for the online stuff and I get all this other stuff plus of course I'm going to do that. You know what I mean?
Yes, but
it gets people in there and keeps them paying yearly. It's a recurring thing. So
it's kind of a gamble, but at the same time, all of it's a gamble. But it's also not really that big of a gamble because you can't just try to sell to the exact same people that bought your first system. Like you can't just pander only to the people who bought the last one because people's tastes change, people change. Maybe those people bought those Switch ones and they have again no interest in buying a Switch 2. They're totally happy.
150 million though.
Right. And let's just say like a third of the people who bought a Switch 1 has no plans of buying the Switch 2.
Yeah.
That still is like 100 million
still
people.
Doing all right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but they want to grow. Businesses, as we know, are greedy and they want to grow. So they want to capture a different audience and. All that's possible. I'm not predicting anything. We're just kind of bullshitting here for about 1 hour and 1 minute here, which is much longer than I expected us to go in those predictions, but it's totally fine. Let's move on then. Speaking of that, to other games.
I just think
third party stuff.
To wrap that up, I think it's coming. I think we're going to talk about it tomorrow. I think it's going to be an NSO included thing, or you can buy each one, and there will be a list initially that we get. And then that will be added to later. That's my prediction for the upgraded Switch games.
Sweet. I don't know how much, if any, of I might just not cut that whole part out where we were arguing. I think it's more funny than it. We'll just leave it in. So third party stuff.
Okay, I've already talked about Microsoft, but I think that is like the third party thing. I don't know how much that's going to be at launch. I'm interested to see what third-party games are going to be there at launch.
Mm-hmm.
I think Doom the Dark Ages, which is Microsoft, it comes out May 16th. I think that's going to be a launch game. Well, I think that's going to be one of the launch games, no matter when this thing's released.
Let me say this. We did get a Treehouse announcement this morning for 2 days, 2 days, Thursday and Friday. Yeah. And so there's some speculation online that it could be as long as 4 hours each, which would be nuts. That's like 8 hours of gameplay. That's a lot more than they're going to need for their first-party stuff. I can guarantee you that, because they also don't want to show you that much of the first-party stuff. They want to, they want you to buy the game. It's only a showcase, not a full gameplay playthrough.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea, a good prediction, Drip, that maybe Phil Spencer does come up on the stage, even if it's just for 30 seconds or a minute, to talk about Xbox's support of Nintendo on Switch 2. And then, like, at the Treehouse, maybe like the second day, or even the first day, but probably more likely like the second day could be a bigger focus on third-party stuff. And maybe there's like an hour or 2 hours of Microsoft. And they're just showcasing Forza Horizon. Insert.
That wouldn't surprise. I mean, that's
Indiana
what I'm saying.
Jones.
Like, think about the games that. I was gonna say we got Indiana Jones, Forza Horizon 5,
Halo.
What else is going to Halo? What else is going to PlayStation that we don't have yet on Nintendo?
Is Halo confirmed? Is Halo confirmed going to PS5?
No. Okay,
that's what I didn't think so.
There's been rumors.
Tomorrow would be a hell of an announcement for that, though.
Could you just imagine? Like, think about just the optics of gaming
hearing that
in
Nintendo
general.
Direct. Can you imagine hearing the Halo chants?
That's what I'm saying. Like, think about the optics of that.
Oh, come on! That gets me fired up.
Yeah, but think about how, like, dude, that would break the internet. People would be talking about that everywhere. Like, Halo is coming to the Switch too. Like, when that acts like people who don't know the rumors, think about how many people that played Halo back in the day that don't now, or maybe just kind of fell out of it, that really aren't in that. Like, that would be like, holy crap. Like, even to them, like, that's gonna steal headlines. That's huge. If they're gonna do that, tomorrow would be the day to do it. That's huge for non-Nintendo fans. I mean,
right.
I mean, it is for Nintendo fans too, obviously. But
those
that
like
catches
Halo,
the attention. Yeah. That catches the attention of a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, Indiana Jones is something we could definitely see, at least in a Microsoft sizzle reel tomorrow. Forza Horizon 5, dude, that'd be sick. I'd be so happy about that. Yeah. Oh man, and then who knows? Maybe at this point, with us getting like real games, maybe they'll actually make, maybe Logitech will come out with an actual wheel for the Switch that's good, because last generation.
Is that a prediction? Or are you just riffing?
I'm just talking. I don't
think that's not a good prediction.
I wanted to play my Switch. I wanted to play my Switch, but there was like 2 wheels for it. There was the Mario one, and then the other one the PXN one that I did a video on, or any. So having like real games, like, I don't know, that would be cool. That would be cool.
Yep.
Other third-party stuff. I mean, there's been rumors of all of the Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
Final
Ring.
Fantasy.
Yeah.
Elden Ring, Final Fantasy.
I was going to say Final Fantasy is a likely one we see at the Direct tomorrow. As one of the third-party games coming to Switch One, day one. I feel like Final Fantasy
dude, just the rumors behind that. It's hard to say at this point that it's not going to be there.
Yeah. It just makes sense.
It's big ones too.
It's been out for a little bit. I'm sure they've been developing for Switch 2 for it. It's a very popular franchise. It has a relationship with Nintendo. I mean,
right. The whole exclusive to PlayStation stuff. They basically said they're done with that. So
yeah,
I mean, this is the perfect time to just be like, hey, bam, look at that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. As far as other third party stuff, I mean, there's going to be a good bit of it, I would imagine, but it's going to be quick. It's going to be at the end, I would imagine. How long do you think this thing's going to go?
They've already told us tomorrow. It's an hour.
Oh shit, we know?
Yeah.
How long is it?
Unless it was April Fool's. I saw this morning that it's going to be an hour, but I think Nintendo said on their tweet, if I'm not mistaken.
They did. As far as I know, they haven't said.
I thought we knew, but again, this morning, first of all, Twitter's full of misinformation. Number one. Number two, it could be a fake fake leak or rumor saying, "Oh, they confirmed an hour." It was early. It's still early as we sit here and record this.
Yeah, I want to know. I want to know. I have to know.
I'll say this while you're looking that up. I don't have specific games because honestly, that's a complete crapshoot of what games will be there. I will say we will have no more than 4 first-party game trailers. It could possibly less, likely less than that. But like Mario Kart will get a trailer tomorrow, and I say there's no more than 3 other games first-party that get an actual trailer. That doesn't mean that it can't be more first-party stuff showcased in passing, but just like actual announcements, no more than 4. That's crazy to go above 4. And AAA, I'm going 5. No more than 5 trailers for AAA games tomorrow. But again, could be, and it probably will be less than that. But it doesn't mean there could be more than that as far as in passing, looking at games. I mean, Phil Spencer could get on the screen for 30 seconds and riff off 5 Microsoft games right off the bat.
Yeah, you're talking about first party. You say what, 4?
I was talking about both. First party is 4, and third party is 5.
Okay, so, I think,
and that's and again just a reader for you. That's just
more.
That's just trailers. I'm saying Phil Spencer could get up on stage for 30 seconds tomorrow.
So you're not counting sizzle reels of whatever, or him just mentioning this, whatever. Okay,
not counting that.
I think there's more still.
Okay.
I think not many more. I think you're in the ballpark.
You're talking about at that point. You're talking about 9 trailers for games tomorrow, and I don't think that's not going to happen. Combined,
I think we're getting more.
That's not going to happen. No.
I think, you ready for this? The big one at the end. The very last thing we see in this direct, other than maybe them telling us the date that it's coming out and the price, is the new 3D Mario coming out later this year.
Would that count as a trailer though? I'm not counting that as a trailer.
Full trailer. Full trailer for the new Mario, whatever it is.
If they go out there tomorrow and say, we've been working on 3D Mario, you're seeing some footage right now. We don't have a name, we don't have a date, but here it is. That doesn't count. I'm talking about like the clicks, or in this case, it'll be the snap, like the smacks, the new clap sound. We hear the claps.
God, is that what they're gonna
switch to logo and like roll the trailer? Like that's a trailer. And by the way, we're gonna play a game tomorrow while we watch. I have a bingo card I might use tomorrow. I'll give it to you. It'll just be fun to play along with the bingo card. But also, we're gonna play this game over under, and the first over under is gonna be 9 game trailers, full blown.
I think there's gonna be more
trailers. I'm going easy under on that. So
okay, 2 we're gonna see. You ready for this? The new Mario 3D Mario for sure. It'll be the last thing. It'll be the very end. We're also going to see a trailer coming later this year. Full remake, complete remake of Ocarina of Time.
Yes!
Full, complete, 4K, 60, from the ground up remake of Ocarina of Time.
I was hoping you're going in Zelda direction. Because I actually have that as one of my wild cards for this event, is that we see new Zelda footage or info. I was leaning toward new game footage. I will expand that.
Everyone keeps saying
I will expand that.
Very possible.
I'll expand that to any new Nintendo, Zelda footage of any kind.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I still don't. That could be it, but it could also be. Maybe this isn't the place to be like the new Zeldas. Here's the teaser. Like that's maybe more of a later thing. Maybe not. Maybe not take so much away from the hardware.
That's the first switch to Nintendo Direct.
Yeah, because that's kind of like what they did with Prime 4. It wasn't the first. It was E3 that year. I think it was their Direct at E3 that year.
Yeah,
when they first announced Prime 4, which obviously we still haven't got. The system's come and gone 8 years later, but yeah, it could be something like that. It could. I don't think they're gonna go. They could, but I don't think they're gonna be like, here's the brand new mainline Zelda. I think we're in remake remaster territory right now, and it's not going to be a 2D because we just got a new 2D. I think we're in 3D remake territory.
The people love when we say 2D. Drip. It's for me. It's become a new term for me. 2D. Like a thing you put in your mouth as a baby. A tootie.
Yeah, tootie.
It's tootie. Tootie Zelda.
Old Tootie Zelda.
All the Tootie Zelda haters out there. It's the top-down Zelda.
Whatever. Like you know what we mean. You know what we mean. It doesn't matter. So yeah, that would be cool. I would be super pumped about that. Would be like, other than the fact that we're getting a new system, and I'm just so pumped about that, because Mario Kart 9, wow, you better wow me, honestly. Because how the fuck are you going to up what you did with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe? Because it's perfect.
I predict. Here's a hot take, not for necessarily for the direct, but just in general. Mario Kart 9, or as I know it to be and will be called tomorrow, Mario Kart Ultimate, is not going to be a better game than Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. They've peaked. Mario Kart has peaked, just like Smash.
There's things they could
just
add.
like Smash has peaked, and there's really not much more besides characters. Not much more you can really do with either
game
franchise.
Modes. I mean, you could do game modes. You could do different game modes.
But
do
nobody, like, we play the game modes for a minute and we don't touch them again until the next new game.
I could see this game mode in my head being something that I would be very interested in. Longer races, bigger courses, maybe like instead of being circles.
It's a lock. It's bigger courses.
I'm talking about like endurance type races, but
that'd be fun.
NASCAR
style. Or F1 style.
There's pit stops where you have to your tires wear and you have to get better tires because you can't keep your thing on the road. Gas, run out of gas.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean this is all great and I love it. But and I think that's confirmed actually. We know that there's new thing like that's whether it's a pit stop or gas or whatever or both. We know that. We saw that in the trailer. We saw a gas station or a pit stop. Like it even has an offshoot where you can drive off. It's not just there for visuals. It's there because it's function. We know that's what their good direction. We know that we don't know necessarily it's going to be massive, but we know like as far as length of race. But we do know it's going to be a different style of race, a new evolution of it. But I'm predicting that this is going to be not that it's not going to be fun. It's going to be fun. We're going to enjoy it. It's not going to be like, whoa, this is so much better than 8 Deluxe. I'm so glad it took 13 years for this. It's not going to be what it is.
I am afraid of that. I hope it is something really awesome. And I do hope they go with your idea of just maybe not like free to play, but like
as live service.
An ongoing, just an ongoing game. Like this is something we have and we just keep throwing updates at it. I would love to see that. New game modes, new characters in and out. You know what I mean? Like,
I have an
collaboration stuff.
What if they go in this direction? It's no longer Mario Kart Ultimate or Mario Kart 9 or Mario Kart anything. It's just Mario Kart trademark. And like this, it's a reset. It's a reset. It's a living, breathing thing that will go on to the next Switch 3 and Switch 4. And they just Fortnite style just keep on keeping on with it until the next new thing. Or they could
give it a name, like we have Mario Kart Tour on the phone. They could just have Mario Kart
Nintendo Racers. I don't know. That'd be a bad name.
Whatever. Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see what they do with that. One more prediction I forgot to say. We will see a new IP tomorrow. Brand new IP.
I'd be excited to see it.
We got ARMS. Last time with the Switch when they did this, it was ARMS. I feel like we're gonna get a new one, and I don't know. I hope it holds a little bit. People, I have a prediction. I played a little bit of it.
I have a prediction. The next franchise, new IP for Nintendo. Legs,
yeah, just kicks, only kicks. Same game, just kicks. It's actually ARMS 2, and they just called it Legs.
Yeah. Change the art style. It's new IP, guys.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see a new IP. I think it's gonna be something
head, shoulders, new. Knees and toes. That's the new.
That's the theme song whenever they pull up
I'll be here all night.
The main menu. Yeah, I don't know. That's those for games. Those are my big 3. I think new IP, big 4 actually. New IP, new. Game to show off the mouse. 3 Mario ends the show, and we get Ocarina of Time complete remake.
I will go that you have reasonable. Well, I mean, Ocarina of Time is not a reasonable thing to suggest, but I want to go and you gone more reasonable. I'm gonna go more like wild cards. This is what I want. This is what I want to see tomorrow. I want to see, besides the obvious things, of course, what we talk about throughout the entire episode pretty much is most of that stuff is obvious. Like C button, for example. But here's some things that I really want to see tomorrow. Pro Joy-Cons, number 1, first and foremost. Give me Pro Joy-Cons.
I think we got a chance.
Number 2, a new Pro Controller. Because I actually have a sneaky suspicion that the Pro Controller is the same one, but with a new button on it, and it's the letter C, and there's no
really
difference in the Pro Controller whatsoever.
Yeah, I think that's what it's going to be, too.
And like that's why the old controls will work. Actually, maybe the old controllers won't work. That's possible, which would suck.
They will. They won't have that C function.
Because the rumors have been Joy-Con will work, and if that's the case, then the Pro Controller should work too. Because the only difference between the Joy-Con is the same thing as the difference with the Pro Controller, the lack of the C button. So there could be a shortcut.
Xbox had the same problem.
There probably could.
Their old controllers work. It just didn't have that one extra button.
You know how you press and hold the home button to pull up that little menu on the Switch? You could press and hold you could do the same thing and then just toggle down to the C button from there. Like, it's really not a big deal. Like, you could probably just access the C button.
You could get to it. Yeah, they could add it in. Yeah, you're right. So, they could add it in that menu.
But my wild card, again, of course, Pro Joy-Con, but a new Pro Controller, like a redesigned, different Pro Controller.
Something different.
And it doesn't have to be necessarily like re-ergonomic. Like, they don't want to redesign the ergonomics necessarily, but just new. Give me something analog triggers. Come on.
And
support
HD
analog.
Rumble Plus.
HD Rumble Plus. Yeah, give us all the new cool things, new Pro Controller fancy thing. And I already mentioned my other one, Zelda footage of any kind, but new. Not just like here's the Kingdom running on the Switch 2. Like tomorrow, a Scissor Reel tomorrow.
You mean new? Something new.
Like Scissor Reel tomorrow could show Tears of the Kingdom, or Breath of the Wild, more likely. It could show that. But I want new, like anything new. I mean, we have not seen something unannounced. A remaster, even. I'll take Ocarina of Time. I'll take anything new. Wind Waker, Twilight Princess. I feel like
Zelda has to be there. This is their big launch of a new. Like, they have to get their big guns out.
Yeah.
Oh man, we didn't even talk about Animal Crossing.
Yeah. Well, we talked about plenty the other night. So,
Animal Crossing could be there.
This is a lot longer than I expected this to go, which I'm totally fine with. That's I think what I'll end up doing is if I find some time today, I might just make some clips from this. I don't know. Maybe this is it. It'll probably actually. Honestly, I won't do that because it's not going to be worth it because they're going to be
throw this thing up there. Yeah, get it up. No, it's only going to get
this. Yeah, but making clips of this, I don't think it's going to be worth it.
No.
Because it's going to be by the time I get it uploaded, how many hours before that's irrelevant? Like just a few hours until it's relevant.
We have
irrelevant.
Less than 24 hours.
This is going up right now. This was not a full episode, but it is longer than a normal episode normally goes. So long predictions for us, but I'm totally fine with that. It was awesome to do that. We argued for like 15 minutes there about the PS5 thing, as we typically do. We're not exactly in disagreement. We're just like,
we're just
like, I wasn't disagreeing with you, Drip. I was just saying the only disagreement I had.
You were giving me examples that I'm like, that doesn't make sense. But
yeah, I could.
You made more sense. You brought it around.
And by the way,
what you were
the first indie game I was thinking about was Animal Well, because that was my first realization of this. What I was explaining to you is that like some PS5 games, PS5 versions, like they're different. It's it's not like they're giving you a PS5 version and a PS4 version, and they show you in PS5, they show you the exact gigabytes or megabytes for Animal Well. They show the exact megabyte number or gigabyte number, and the most times they're different. So I'm like, what is with that? But it also says PS5 version, PS4 version. I'm like, what? The only conclusion I come up with for a game like Animal Well or Shredder's Revenge, the games that there is zero difference in performance or visuals. From the PS5, PS4, the only explanation I can come up with is that they're just different pieces of software that run on the different consoles. That's why they give you both. It's not just one version that works on both. There's a PS5 version that plugs into both, or the PS4 version where they give you that when you buy it on the PS5, and they give you that PS4 version. So if you do have a PS4, you can go back and play it on that system if you still got it. But it works in the PS5. Like, why would you download the PS4 version on the PS5? If they give it to you on the PS5, like you have the PS5 version. So
that whole thing just confuses me anyway, because it's like
it is confusing.
You can also just put a I don't know. You can just like if that doesn't. I mean, I guess it would work. I guess the PS4 version, if you downloaded that, I guess you were trying to save space.
But some game, and that's what I thought. Until I saw an example of the PS4 game.
Like, no thanks. I'll take the PS4 version, not that big fancy PS5 version.
Yeah, but some PS4 versions are bigger gigabyte numbers than the PS5 version, and it's crazy to me. I'm like, but that's
there's got to be some difference. There's got to be.
Yes, but it has nothing to do with performance, visual fidelity, or any of the sort. It has nothing to do. There's a difference. It has nothing to do with any of that. And not content different either, because there's no unless they explicitly say this version is the deluxe version. This one's not.
Right.
Like God of War, for example.
Either way, I think we are that to get something tomorrow too. Like that's one of my final predictions as well. I think we are getting a small list of upgraded upgraded Switch 1 games, and I think that's included in NSO. They got to justify that price hike they're going to do later this year. So
love it. Are you making any more videos between now and tomorrow, or that's going to be after tomorrow?
Probably going to wait.
I would probably.
I'm going to wait because I have already like 4 planned, but I need information from them. I need to fill in the blanks in the video.
Oh yeah.
Because we got to talk about is the Switch 2 worth blank money? What's the difference between a Switch 1 and a Switch 2? Do you need to upgrade? Question mark.
Yeah, we're gonna obviously this episode's going up right now. It's gonna be relevant until it dies tomorrow, or probably more likely tonight, this evening. Or morning time, I should say. But we're gonna be streaming. We didn't actually talk about this, but you and I are both streaming on this channel tomorrow morning. Right?
Yeah, I figured we're just doing it here. Yeah.
Okay, great. So yeah, tomorrow morning, I already have. I'll make the stream after this video gets uploaded. We're gonna stream tomorrow morning, the direct, and then tomorrow evening we're gonna do the podcast as regularly scheduled because it's a Wednesday, and we're gonna have a guest tomorrow, at least one, maybe more. TBD on that. But it's the one that is confirmed is Sergio from It Came From a Box, a good friend of ours who I think the last time he was on was Game Awards.
Game Awards, yeah.
Which was like
it was a good time.
It's always the most fun we ever have. It's always the most fun.
Yeah, that's the best thing we do all year, right there.
Yeah.
Game
Game
Awards watch party.
Sergio's coming back. Talk about his. I'm sure he's got plenty to say about tomorrow. He's always on Twitter, just like gawking at any Nintendo news. Like this morning, he put a tweet out about the Treehouse, and this made me giggle. Like he's just as excited as anybody else here. So can't wait to talk to him about that and potentially more that I unconfirmed or not sure yet. People who I've asked. So gonna be a big day tomorrow, Drip. Big day.
It is.
Prediction tomorrow. Big day.
Yes, that's my prediction as well. Big day.
We'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning.